Okay guys, this is a continuation from my unboxing video here. I'm gonna make it two videos. I'm gonna make the one video just has the unboxing for this. If you guys just want to go check that out, you can click on the link below for that. If you guys watched the unboxing video and carried on with this one here right afterwards, thank you for sticking around. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ink the Mini AL up, and I'm going to ink up one of these JADOS 993s, and I'm going to see how well they actually write. So hopefully I don't need to clean them right off the bat, because if I need to clean them right off the bat, then obviously I'm doing this video for nothing, because I won't be able to ink it up right away, because I'll have to let the pen dry first. So let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to take just a generic Lamy dark blue here, which is this one over here. I'm going to ink up both pens with this ink here, and we'll see what happens. So first thing I like to do is determine if these pens have actually been tested in factory or not. There's some manufacturers, they actually test each individual fountain pen before they go out to make sure that they are writing properly. I believe my both of my Lamys, the All-Star and the Safari, actually had residual ink in them when I first bought them. I actually had to clean them out before I was able to use them. So that's just a little warning for you guys. If you guys want to get a Lamy fountain pen, just keep that in mind. My Culkin Nighthawk, I believe it didn't have no ink in them at all, so I was able to fill it up right off the bat. My TWSBI Eco, I was able to clean it right off the bat. So this one here. So let's find out if I need to do that or not first, and we'll go from there. So we'll start with the JADO 993 first. So the shark pens here. So let's just take this label off. One thing that I forgot to mention on the unboxing portion of this video, or on the unboxing video, these nibs that I actually got are actually either fine or extra fine. I believe these are both fine. I like writing with fine more, but I'm still yet to buy a broader nib. So for the newbie people don't know what that means, it just means it's a broader nib. It's just, it writes a thicker line on the page. That's basically all what it is. So anyhow, let's take this out of here. And one thing that you want to take is you take your Kleenex, and you just rub the nib up against the Kleenex. If any ink comes through the nib, then it's been inked up at the factory, and then you should clean them out. Each to your own, but it is highly recommended you actually clean it. So, and one of the reasons why I'm using the Kleenex is because the Kleenex is super absorbent, and as soon as you touch the nib onto the Kleenex, it absorbs it in an instant. Other than the paper, some absorbs some of it, right? But the Kleenex actually absorbs it like in an instant. And you'll see that when I fill the pen up and see how fast it actually draws the ink up. It actually draws that up pretty quick. So anyhow, let's get this here, and I hope I'm able to demonstrate this, because the way I have my camera set up at the moment is not the ideal way to do this. So of course, owning a fountain pen is all about getting ink on your fingers, just like this. And I know somebody, which is basically my co-worker, would probably be laughing at me right now, because I laugh at him all the time when he tries to paint anything and likes to stick to him like glue, so you know who you are. So there you go. Make it happy for you. But it actually happened to me this time. But anyway, let's get back to this. So there's two ways you can do this. You can actually take this. You can take this off, and you can actually take the converter out. You can actually take and dip the converter inside the ink bottle. You can actually draw the ink up that way. That's one way of doing it, and that's probably the cleanest way to do it. But also, the ideal thing you want to do is you want to keep the converter on the actual bottom portion of the fountain pen. And you actually want to dip this whole section here into the actual ink to actually draw the ink up on here. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because that'd be the best way to do this. If you have a smaller bottle, right, because these bottles are actually pretty big, because I have another one that's different color here. They're actually pretty big, but it's narrow and it's got a little let's see if I can do this without ink falling all over the place. It actually has like a little hole here, so you can try to draw, so that it draws up as much ink as possible, right? But not all bottles are designed this way. The standard bottles that are flat in the bottom, so making it draw all the ink when it starts getting to the bottom of the bottle, it makes it actually harder. So when you start getting down to that point, you basically want to do is get an ink syringe. The Goulet pen sells them, and you stick it in there and you draw out as much, to draw all the possible ink out of the bottom of the bottle, and then you can get yourself almost like a little bottle like this, where it's kind of like a more narrow, so that the ink kind of fills up more into here, right? So you're able to draw more of the ink into your pen. I don't have a sample beaker here to show you guys at the moment. I might maybe just include a picture of it or something over here, or I might just even cut it into the video here, just showing you guys a little bit what it looks like. But yeah, so basically you want to dip this in here. Of course, this bottle's pretty full, so I'm not going to dip it all the way in. And I don't know if I can actually, I won't be able to demonstrate, to actually show it to you guys, but dip it in there and you actually turn it. And what I like to do is I like to turn it real slow, so that it kind of gives time for the ink to draw up. So you guys can see there's actually ink in here now. Okay. Sometimes what happens, if there's air bubbles or whatever on there, push the ink back out again, and try to draw it in again. So you guys can see how, I'm just barely touching the Kleenex. Let's see how that draws up in an instant. You see that? See how I'm just barely just touching the pen, and it just draws it right up. So there you go. So that's that one's done. And let's see how this writes here. And let's see here. So like I said in my unboxing video, this is actually kind of almost like tapered. So basically, this being tapered, it actually forces you to hold the pen at the right way. So when you write with a fountain pen, if you guys want me to go in more detail with this, there's other videos and stuff online on how to properly use a fountain pen. But if you guys want me to demonstrate that, just comment down below. I would be happy, more than happy to do it. So this one didn't start right away. It actually writes really nice, honestly. The lines actually, it's actually thicker than I thought it would be. So that's what that one looks like. So that's actually writes pretty nice, honestly. Great starter pens, that's for sure. So let's just pull this back here a little bit. Let's now, if this TWSBI is going to write the same way as the Eco does, I'm going to enjoy this pen quite a bit, because I enjoy using the Eco quite a bit, and it's just an awesome pen to use. And actually, this Eco here cost me I think it was $23 US. So it wasn't really expensive, but actually it's a great piece of instrument, that's for sure. So if that's gonna write the same thing as this, I'm gonna be happy with this one too. So I'll see. Okay, so this one here, I didn't realize that when you put the cap behind the fountain pen like this, or it doesn't even have to be a fountain pen, any other pen, this is what they call posting. So of course, for the guys that've got a fountain pen, know that already, but this is more for the newbies. Yeah, so when you put your cap on here, on the back, it's actually called posting. So this is interesting. One of the things that I've learned when you use a fountain pen is when you cap the pen, and when you post it, you want to keep this clip here in line with your nib. Now the reason you do that is because it makes it easier. So that almost gets there pretty close. So when you, like this, like the Culkin here, and the other TWSBI, the other TWSBI Eco 2, this one here just slides into place. Okay. And one thing that I like to do is when I post the cap, I like to keep this clip here in line with the nib, so that when I'm writing it, when I want to use it, right, all I gotta do is take a look on the clip here, and I'll know that I'm in line with my nib, right? So that when I'm writing with this, I know that the nib is sitting properly. Okay, That way I don't have the nib up to the side. Let's see if I can demonstrate this better so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So you won't have the nib off to the side, because if it's on the side like this, it will not write. Right? You want to keep your nib straight so that it actually writes, see? So you use your clip as like a visual aid so that it's aligned with your nib. So now, one thing that I noticed with the Mini, because it's a screw cap, so this actually screws into place, it's not snapping, right, is how do you get it in line directly? Because see, this is where you would hold the pin with your nib straight like this, and the cap is off to the side like that. If you guys know how I can get it to post properly, please leave me a comment down below, or point me to a video that kind of help me out here. So this is as close as I'm going to be able to get it, and it's not perfectly straight. So that's interesting. But anyhow, let's ink this one up and see how this one here is. So let's just bring this over here. I'm going to bring the piston all the way down, just like that. Take it inside and draw the ink up. Of course, I got to put it in more. There it goes. If you guys want me to do a video to demonstrate this more, I'll set the camera up at a different angle so you guys can actually see it a little bit better. So we're going to take and clean this up. Of course, you want to. The idea is you don't want to get any ink on the rim here, so when you're holding it down, right? Okay, so let's just cap this for a second here. So that's a nice little pin. So let's put this back in. Alrighty, let me just get rid of the Kleenex here for a second. Okay, let's see how this one here writes. Of course, this one here you can it's actually not too small, but mind you, I don't have very big hands in the first place. If you've got big hands, you might find this pen a little small compared to to the Jados. As you can see, the difference in size, right? Or a full size Eco. So pretty much the body of the pen is a lot longer, as you guys can see. So if you got big hands, you guys might want to actually post this so that it's actually longer, so you can actually be able to use it. So let's see how this one writes. It's a little scratchy. Mind you, I'll have to break it in a little bit. Of course, the nib's pretty new, so I have to spend some time writing with it to kind of smoothen out the nib a little bit. As you can see, let's see if I can get this to show a little bit better here. As you kind of see, it kind of writes the same line compared to the Jado 993. As you can see there, right? And then the TWSBI Eco is a broader nib. So now this is also a fine nib, but as you can see, but mind you, I don't have the same ink on this pen. I've got the actual blue one on here, but as you can tell, this one here is it's got a slightly thicker line. Right, and then also if you go into my Nighthawk here, and I believe my Nighthawk's got the same ink as this one here, so you can tell that the nib's more wetter on this one here. This is also a fine nib here as well, but as you can see, it puts down a lot more ink, and I'm not putting no pressure on this at all. And you don't really want to put pressure on these nibs. There's nibs that you can buy that's called a flex nib that you could actually, as you write, you apply a little bit of pressure and it actually makes the line a little bit wider. You can kind of do that with this one a little bit, but you have a chance of actually damaging the nib if you press too hard. But of course, if you press more on the nib, you're going to get a more of a wetter line than normal. But these pens here are mostly designed not to be applying no pressure whatsoever. Some people put pressure down on it. I don't usually put pressure down on my writing. I just usually just let the nibs just sit on the paper and kind of just let it write. Just let the nib do its thing and let it just draw. If I find it needs to be, I'll kind of open it up a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on to kind of open and line up a little bit to kind of draw the ink down faster, right? But one of the things also is when you're using a fountain pen as well, is you got to remember that the ink has to be drawn down into the feed and everything to get to your nib. So of course, if you're taking it right really fast, you get barely no ink coming out of your pen at all, right? And these are great tools. I tell you right now, I had really bad handwriting, period. If I would try to write anything handwriting, nobody would be able to read it. I wasn't even able to read what I wrote down in the next day and things like that. Me starting to use these fountain pens have actually forced me to learn how to write and actually be able to write and actually be able to be readable. And because I've started with fountain pens a year ago, actually it's been a little bit more than a year, because before, when I made the video in the earlier days of my channel here, I already had the Lamy All-Star and the Lamy Safari already at that time, and pretty much that's where I learned how to handwrite, was with these two Lamys right here. And yeah, these are great instruments if you want to learn, if you want to improve on your handwriting. This is what you want to go with, is with these fountain pens, because this here, it won't let you kind of go chicken scratch, because you can't hardly see how the line is, because you're writing so fast, right? But if I do the same thing, but if I take my time, it writes and let the ink go on the paper, right? And you take your time and you write, and you're writing, it actually makes a thicker line and it actually puts more ink down on the paper. It forces you to slow down when you're handwriting. So great tools to learn how to handwrite. If you guys are interested in knowing what techniques and what practices that I did to get myself to this point where you can actually read my handwriting, you know, I'll be more than happy to demonstrate some stuff that I actually did practice and doing and learning how to do some handwriting and things like that. So I hope this video helps you guys. You know, it gives you a little bit of demonstration on how these pens write. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. And you know what? I'm actually going to, let's make a contest. If you guys want to win a couple of these JADOS 993s, I'll be more happy to do it. The only rules that you gotta do is you need to subscribe to my channel, and you need to comment down on this video here and tell me why you would want to get one of these pens, either for your kids to learn, you know, to start in the world of fountain pens, maybe for yourself, where you're kind of interested in seeing what this is all about, right? I'll give 2 of them away to a lucky subscriber, and I'm not gonna wait until I get 1,000 subscribers or anything like that. The contest starts as soon as this video gets released, and yeah, let's go from there. I don't know how long it's gonna run, but we'll see what happens with that. So you guys want to win 2 of these? You guys tell me what colors you want afterwards, then I'll pick the 2 colors for you, and I'll pay for them. You just give me your shipping address, and I'll have them shipped to you directly to you, and hopefully you guys get to enjoy it. And I might even actually part of the prize, I might even get a sample ink set for you guys through Goulet Pens. It'll be a random set of inks. I'll include it into this little package here as well. So it's two pens and a small package of random inks that they'll just throw into the package for you, and that's it. So to win these, subscribe and comment down below on this video here, and yeah, hopefully this works out for you guys. So until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.